Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Chris and I'm a medical doctor and PhD candidate in epidemiology. And I'm also helping some healthcare professionals to relocate to another country. Today in this video, I'm gonna share you what are the jobs opportunity in NHS in 2024 to 2025, especially for IMG with PLAB certificates. So if you are planning to pursue a career in NHS and you are planning to sit the PLAB exam, you don't know real information and sometimes you lost the way. So here in this video, we will provide the latest data and real strategic approach how to land the job in NHS. Okay, let's dive into it. In 2023, a record of 9,884 candidates passed PLAB 2 exam. So it's increased 70% compared to 2019. So it's 2023 and 2019. So 70% increase PLAB passing rate is increased. So 70% increase is means that is a lot. So it is the main important point you should aware of it. So how many percent rises in PLAB pathway? So 70% rising when we compare to 2019 and 2023. So it shows a strong and growing interest from doctors worldwide in joining NHS workforce. But this also means more competitive. We used more competitive. We didn't use it's totally saturated or it's already saturated. We didn't use. You should notice. Okay. So more candidates are passing PLAB job, especially the first job after PLAB is not easy. So the PLAB candidates are increasing rapidly and it's totally PLAB passes are rising rapidly. We will look into detail. In 2023, a record of 9,884 candidates passed PLAB 2. So a 70% increase compared to 2019. So how many percent increase? You will notice 70% is a huge number. So it means a strong and growing interest from doctors worldwide to join NHS job. But this also means more competitive. So we didn't use it's already saturated or it's totally saturated. No, we don't use. It's more competitive. More candidates are passing PLAB job, especially the first job after PLAB isn't increased at the same rate. So the things gets tricky. Yes, the candidates are tremendously bursting and increasing, but the job opening is the same situations compared to the previous year. So it means that the job openings proportionally doesn't increase with the candidates. So the candidates are rapidly rising, but the job opening is the same situation. So it's the real situations in NHS for PLAB doctors. So you will hurt in your surroundings. Some people or some doctors say that NHS jobs are saturated. So what the meanings of saturated? They didn't know the meanings of saturations or saturated. If they are already saturated, there is no vacancy at all. But NHS have still vacancy. So how many or what are the informations? What are the real informations? They have thousands of jobs, but not very simple. At the mid of 2024, NHS has had 10,745 Medicare vacancy in secondary care across the England. So it's represent or it's account 7% of the total post. So NHS have still vacancy, not totally saturated. But many PLAB doctors are still struggling to get a job. Why? Is that right? So because the main problem is mismatch between the type of jobs available and the experience and expectations of newly registered IMGs. They have still vacancies, 10,745 vacancy. It's not too small. 10,000 is quite enough to get higher. But PLAB pathway doctors are struggling to get a job. So because of mismatch, the vacancy are available, but they didn't apply. They cannot apply, or their background experience and the expectations from the employers to newly IMG. So this is what we call mismatch. Okay, let's move into another title. Especially in training jobs, is a harsh competitions in training jobs, right? So there are many people are focusing to get a training in NHS, and NHS training job are harsh competitions. So in 2024, there were 59,699 applicants for just 12,743 training posts. I will repeat again. 59,698 applicants for just 12,743 training posts. So if you calculate the ratio, nearly around 5:1 ratio. So it means that one training positions, there are 5 5 applicants are trying to get one training position. So 5:1 ratio. So it's more competitive, and it's really competitive to get training posts. But in 2024, among the 12,743 training posts, among them 57% were IMG. So it means that more than half of the competitions was international graduates. So IMGs occupied more than half of the vacancy posts. So actually, I want to say that it's not unfair for the British trained doctors. There are less opportunities to get higher than IMG. So more than 50% are already occupying my IMG. So IMGs are taking a critical role, or IMGs have more chances than British trained medical doctors. But it's still tough to get higher for IMG with a PLAB route. Because sometimes the employer expectations to IMGs is NHS experience. It's really a challenge for the new IMG with PLAB pathway. And I want to share information about the new policy shift. This is a warning sign for IMG. If you are planning to sit plot in later years, not in 2025, you have a plan to sit plot exam after 2 or 3 years. This is the important information for you guys. So they have a policy, and that policy is not implemented yet, but they have already planned what is the policy shift. Let's see. In early 2024, UK Health Secretary Wes Steering announced plans to prioritize UK medical graduate for NHS training positions. So what is their purpose, or what is their goal? So they want to provide fair deal to British trained doctors who are struggling to get a specialist training post. So I already mentioned that more than half of the posts are already occupied by IMG. So British trained doctors are less chances to get training posts. So they want to make a policy shift to provide their British trained doctors to get more chances in training posts. They already planned in 2024, but they didn't implement yet. But nobody knows when they implement this policy. So if you have planned to sit a plot pathway, so do it right now. Not later years. There is no guarantee you can get chances to get into training posts in these similar situations. Nobody knows. So this is the most important information I want to share you in this video. So we don't know sure what the plans or what the limit for IMG if they went getting into the training post. So it's mean that they didn't bond IMG with plot pathway yet, but it will get more tough in later years. Okay, so IMG still powers the NHS. In 2023, 63% of new joiners to GMC registrars were non-UK trained graduates. So you can't, yes, the previous percentage, 57% of the training posts are already occupied by IMGs. In here, 68% of new joiners to GMC registrar were non-UK trained. So more than half of the GMC registrars are also IMG. So in some specialty like general practice, physiatrics, and emergency medicines, IMG make up a significant share of the workforce in NHS. So these pathways are popular, but is getting narrow but is still open, especially in high needs areas. So where are the real opportunities? So the job market isn't saturated, no saturations, but it's crowded and locations dependent. So this is the common base. Everybody went to work in the big cities or in the big hospitals. They are crowded in those places. So where you can get more chances? Okay, let's see. More chances exist in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Some rural parts of the Northern England, East of England, and Southwest. In those rural areas, they are still struggling to get higher, and they opened a more flexibility to IMG. So you should focus on those areas. You will get more chances when compared to the big city and big hospitals. So what is the strategy for PLAB doctors in 2024 to 2025? So what is the useful strategy for the PLAB doctors in 2024 to 2025? So you should consider clinical attachments, observationships to familiar NHS systems, and you can strengthen your CV. But in here, some employers didn't recognize the clinical attachments as an NHS experience, especially in the accession criteria. But it's a little bit varies employers to employers. But some employers recognize you as an NHS experience in the your clinical attachment is a good point. So you should consider clinical attachments to get early. And you should not limit locations from your site, so you should open more flexibility to locations. And if I already mentioned earlier, the vacancy are still in the some rural areas, they are struggling to get doctors, so you should focus on those areas. So you should open flexibility to your locations. Some specialties they have a shortage, like psychiatrists, general practice, pediatrics, and emergency medicine. So you should have more experience in those areas, and you can apply in those specialties. And you should build your CV by getting experience in clinical audits, quality improvements, and ALS or BLS certificates, and other soft skills like communication skills, team management, leadership, and management, something like that. And so this is the last part of this video. Is it true that NHS market is saturated for PLAB doctors? Not completely. Here is the truth. The number of PLABs passing rate is tremendously rising, but NHS still have a job, and but many are not in big cities, or your preferred specialties, they don't have a vacancy. So the job market is highly competitive and not closed yet. IMG with some experience, or you have a background knowledge, and your adaptabilities, and how you approach to job landings, and your knowledge relating with NHS systems, these will get chances more higher. So I will say again, not saturated in NHS. They still have a vacancy, and you need strategic approach to succeed in your job landing. In this video, I think I support many valuable tips for the doctors with a PLAB pathway, and see you in my next video.